Family, what's going on with your man? It's your homeboy Preach. Peacefully respect everyone amongst continuous hate. You know the name. Your brother by way of Romania from a different woohoo. Anyways, man, look, I'm doing my episode, man. It's called Journey Road with Preach. And what it entails is we're just gonna go back in time to the present day. But what I'm gonna do, man, we're gonna journey road backwards a bit. And today I'm gonna talk to you guys about one of my favorite rap albums that inspired my career, and it's fucking dope. All right, I know a lot of you guys probably heard it. Maybe there's some people that haven't heard it, but I'm gonna go through some key things what really influenced me, man, and I'm excited to talk about it because this group changed my life. When these guys dropped onto the scene back in 1993, 1994, it was a world changer, man. It was meaning a world changer. It changed my world. So we're gonna journey backwards in time. The year was 1995, and the group was a group from Cleveland, Ohio. You take a guess? I'll give you 3 seconds. 3, 2, Bone Thugs and Harmony. 2 seconds. So we're gonna go backwards in time, man, to one of my all-time favorite rap group, Bone Thugs and Harmony. And the album that changed my life was really their first album. Technically it was their second, but their first professional release, because their earliest work was called Faces of Death, and they were about 14, 15 years old at the time. Then they put out an album called Creeping on a Come Up. That one had the infamous and most famous song that took over every station and hit the United States like a whirlwind, and it was called Thuggish Ruggish Bone. You guys remember that? Produced by none other than DJ Unique, one of my favorite producers of all time. DJ Unique just gave Bone that true thugster sound. So we're gonna skip past Creeping on a Come Up, even though that started everything for me. So today I'm gonna talk to you guys about this album right here. It's called Eternal, East 1999, right? Bone Thugs and Harmony, man, the year was 95. This was their follow-up album. Creeping on a Come Up was their first tape. So Creeping on a Come Up had a total of 8 songs. Really, it was 6 songs because 2 of those were the, Ouija intro and then the For the Love of Money outro. And but this was the follow-up, East 1999. And man, when I tell you this is a banger, they don't make them like this anymore. What can I say, man? This is a gem. This is a gem. This is a must-have in your collection. If you don't have this in your collection, and you're from the Midwest, and you listen to rap music, hip-hop rap music, original thugster music, and you don't have this in the collection, I can't even talk to you. Get this if you don't have this. I promise you. This is legendary. Like I said, the sound, what they brought to the table, what they brought to the game, man, game-changing. Because Bone, everybody thought they were from LA, because they came out rocking the khakis, the fros. These guys are straight from Cleveland, Ohio. People didn't even know where the hell Cleveland, Ohio was. But these guys took one-way bus. They took the Greyhound one way to get with Eazy in California, man. They hustled up the money to get on a Greyhound to go out there and start working with them, But back to the album, man. This is a classic gem, and I want to point out a couple things for you guys. So on this album, if you've never known, as you look at the artwork, you see the skull, you see the bones at the bottom. You see the guys repping the Cleveland shirt on. They got the flannel on, Crazy Bone, Wish, Busy, Lazy, and then the 5th dog let loose. Flesh and Bone. He's a powerhouse too. He's a definite original Bone member. Really, there's 5 members. Busy, Lazy, Crazy, Wish, Flesh. Now, Flesh ended up doing a 10-year bid for, he got caught with some guns. Violated, he already had a criminal record. He ended up doing a 10-year bid. But this album, again, was a life changer, man, in my world. And one of the coolest things, if you ever notice, when you're looking at this artwork, I don't know if you guys ever noticed this, for those that do have this album and that do, are big Bone lovers like myself, 3rd story window, there's somebody looking down on them. They put Eazy in the window. So for those that never knew that, now you know. Eazy-E's in the third story window looking down on his thugsters, looking down on his guys. Proud moment. So yeah, man, we're looking at about I want to say about 20 something songs, about 21 songs. Banger, man. The type of album you could bump from front to finish, flat out. You don't even have to skip a song. Of course, you have your favorites, you know, Buzz Smokers Only. You got the, you know, we got the what's the ones? Man, there's so many of them. Eternal, East 1999. You got, man, Land of the Heartless. They're telling a story in this one. Where's the one I'm looking for? Down 71, The Getaway. Man, that's some of the coldest shit I ever heard. I can't even tell you my favorite because I love all of them, man. Mo Murder, everything, man. Shots to the Double Glock. Now, they were really getting that 3-6 Mafia on that. If a lot of people don't know, back then there was a big feud between Bone and 3-6 Mafia. Apparently it comes down to an interview that they say Bone Thugs and Harmony did a show in Memphis, and they were talking about Memphis, and they had mentioned that Memphis was country, and a lot of people didn't take liking to that. So a lot of artists throughout Memphis, like Tommy Wright Jr. III, he put out a big diss on Bone, and I think there was a battle between 3-6 and Bone when it came to the dark shit. You know, who was really with that whole dark Mr. Ouija, demonic spirits, and, you know, devil type conjuring sound. Even though neither were devil worshippers, you know what I mean? They were just crazy as a motherfucker, just you know, just fucking with the dark side. So anyways, man, this album is classic. Of course, you have the two biggest songs that stood out, the three biggest songs that stood out from this album were East 1999, and you had First of the Month. First of the Month, you guys remember the video, the riding on the car, barbecuing out in Cleveland, beautiful video. And then it was the Crossroads. Now the Crossroads was a remix, so it was a DJ Unique remix, what they won a Grammy for. That was the later version, the original Crossroads version, and this is actually, I want to say this is the original Crossroads on this album, because they re-released East 1999 and put the newer version of Crossroads on there. The one that we all know, that's the most, you know, the biggest hit. It actually charted big time, man. They broke like Beatle records and a whole bunch of records. But yeah, man, this is a classic album, and one of the things I want to take a look at on the inside, I'm going to tell you guys another cool fact about this album. But this is the front, this is the back, you know, and I miss this, man. I miss the artwork. You see it gets a lot of play. Don't be mad at me and shit. I play it. You know, but man, it's amazing that you can put out an album that you can listen to from front to back. Nowadays, you know, you come across some bands, you come across some groups, some solo artists, some good musicians that you can still listen to their music from front to back, but I gotta be honest, man, it's very rare. So I definitely dig it, man. I dig what they brought to the table. I like the fact that they were able to work with everybody from Biggie Smalls to Tupac, to everybody, to Naughty by Nature, Snoop Dogg, Master P, Bone Thugs and Harmony didn't discriminate, man. You know, them guys came out originally and they stayed true to their sound. So let's take a look at this album cover. Look, it's all messed up. So, let's take a look here, man. So you got a booklet. I missed the booklet. That's what I meant to say. One of the main things I miss about CDs and just used to open up the booklet and just, motherfucker, don't act like I'm the only one that did that shit. If you truly love music, as soon as you'd open it up, man, you get that crispy smell, that, wow, man. It was magical. I mean, if you're truly a fan, you couldn't wait to go buy a tape, or you couldn't wait to go buy a CD. Because when I first bought their music, it was on tape. This was back in 1994. I remember I was a young boy, man. I walked up to we had a store called Street Side Records. Right now it turned into a Qdoba. It's here in St. Louis. It was on the corner of Arsenal and Grand. And I remember going in there. I was a young guy. And I remember, because I was still learning English and I didn't really know about, you know, title tracks being on certain albums. Like, is this song even gonna be on this project? So when I went up to Street Side Records, I seen her tape and I was like, man, I hope that song, Thuggish Ruggish Bone, is gonna be on here. But I didn't care either way, because when I seen them guys, I'm like, man, their music is just fire. They have to be fire. So when I did get the tape and I brought it home, it was on there. And it was one of my best memories, man, as a kid. One of my favorite memories, because these guys, I looked at them as like big brothers. I looked at them as mentors. I mean, shit, I still look at them as mentors. But this is a beautiful album, man, and what I like about it mostly is the artwork is just so cold. I mean, look at that. It gives you a breakdown. You got Lil A, you got Busy Bone, you got Wish, and then Crazy Bone, the General. You know what I mean? You got Straight Jacket, that's his nickname. That's Ripster right there. For a lot of people that don't know that, the true Bone fans know. And that's Lil A, that's L Burner, that's the #1 assassin right there. So that's the #1 assassin. Busy Bone, that's Lil Ripster, that's the Grim Reaper. Wishbone, man, that's Straight Jacket. That's the guy that's got the double pump underneath the trench coat. And Crazy Bone, that's just the General, man. So I love it, man. The artwork is dope. You know, breaks down the songs. Everything is cold. Of course, Bone Thugs and Harmony dedicate this to their mentor, Eazy-E, the Godfather. Rest his soul, Ruthless Records, man. America's Nightmare. Eazy-E was a good guy, very short-lived. And he wanted to get Bone out to the world very, very fast, man. It's a shame because when Bone made this tape, some say, I think they mentioned that Eazy was able to hear a couple songs off of it when he was in the hospital. But yeah, man, they put this album out and Eazy already passed away when this album came out. So that's crazy, right? You know, somebody they looked up to and just a mentor. I mean, Eazy-E, NWA, they were the biggest thing in the United States. And these guys were 16 and 17 years old when they hooked up with him. And Eazy-E brought them onto the label. They went back to Cleveland and shot the Thuggish Ruggish Bone video on the north side of Cleveland, where they're from. The dark side, what they call the dark side. You hear references to it. Welcome to the dark side. You know, you hear the intro, nah, but that's Thuggish Ruggish Bone going backwards. So the intro to this album is Thuggish Ruggish Bone going backwards, where you hear Busy Bone. You hear that it's going backwards. They did a lot of backwards stuff because they were always like, you know, Ouija board, let's go backwards, my thugs. You know, they would always summon Mr. Ouija. That was the guy. You know, Ouija, I need to know my future. You know, when I die of murder, when I die of bloody murder, I'm gonna get murder, murder, more murder, more murder. Y'all remember that? That was from the Creeping on the Come Up. So here, it's just kind of a maze. I gotta look back and remember, oh, that's what it was. So this was a breakdown actually of their territory where they're from. So this is like the block breakdown of like where each block is. Each 1994, each 1990 whatever. Each 1999 is where they were really like, that would be the meetup spot. From everything I gathered from their interviews, they say each 1999 was where everybody from the block, from the surrounding areas would go out there. They'd be hustling from morning to daytime. They'd be pulling up, drinking, smoking, thugging, doing all that shit. It was the meetup spot where you meet up with the homeboys. So then you get over here to Mr. Ouija, right? So take a look at that, man. That's very interesting because if you look at it, say you're trying to read it like this, there's no way you're going to read it. All right? So this is Mr. Ouija, the Mystic Oracle. There's a message, there's a story behind this. So you have to put this in a mirror and read this backwards. Now I'm not going to get into what it's about. I want you guys to pick this album up if you haven't, because it's a classic, man. It's over 20 years old. Holy cow, over 20 years old, man. And it's banging. Even the young kids that come across this album till this day, man, are like, man, this shit is crazy, because they don't make them like this anymore. This sound can never be replicated. They could attempt to replicate it, but it's never going to be the same sound. That Bone sound is that Bone sound, you know? In my world, they're my temptations. When I was growing up, these guys were my, you know, they were my temptations. They were my Rolling Stones. They were it for me. But this is very interesting. This little story about Ouija here, you put this in a mirror and you read it because it's backwards. Again, you can't read it just looking at it. You have to put that message in a mirror and read it, and you'll be able to read the story. All right? So yeah, man, I just wanted to touch on one of my favorite albums. Every song goes, when I tell you from front to back, it's dope, man. You guys got to pick it up. So I want you guys to pick it up. Bump it, go stream it, go listen to it on YouTube. And you'll see for yourself, it's dope, man. What else can I say about it besides to say it changed my world? This album truly changed my world, man. My life was never the same when I encountered this rap group from Cleveland, Ohio. They were amazing. They remain amazing. I got a chance to open up for Bone Thugs and Harmony. I want to say I opened up for them. Let me see. Did I open up? I opened up for Bone. Yeah, we opened up for him twice, I want to say. We opened up for him twice. Man, that's messed up. I can't even think of, I want to say we opened up for Bone twice. So no, once was at P.R.E.A.C.H, or was it 2 times at P.R.E.A.C.H? I think it was both times was at P.R.E.A.C.H. I know for sure. Yeah, both times were at P.R.E.A.C.H. So it was cool, man. It was cool. We got a chance to go out to Cleveland and meet up with them, actually. We got a chance to hang out with them and smoke a little bit. And it was funny because we were all kicking it. Cleveland was having a celebration. It was like their 250th year of being, being a city. They were commemorating Cleveland turned 250 years old as a city. And they were out there in a hotel and stuff because they were going to do a performance. There was a lot of people in town. Lil Wayne was in town. Young Money was in town. Drake was in town. We actually met Drake. We actually met Drake out in the parking lot before he just hit the scene. He just hit the scene like real heavy. And he was cool as a whistle, man. Drake was cool as a whistle. He was out there with Bone. Their parents were out there. They were just in front of the hotel lobby. We were smoking, rolled up, smoking. We got to talking to Lazy Bone. It was cool, man. So, my mentors, man. Hopefully, we solidify a track really soon. I do have something in the works right now that I'm trying to shop around. And I actually want to do a remix, and I want to get one of the members on a song. I'm not going to disclose who it is. It's one of the Bone members, and we are working on it right now as we speak. Really, I don't want to let the cat out the bag, even though I just think I let the cat out the bag. I want to keep it a surprise. I want to keep it mystic. So we'll see, man. But we're shopping a song right now. Really, it's just about connecting because of their time frame. They're busy. They're still touring. But I'm excited, man. Bone Thugs and Harmony. B-O-N-E. Beating on every day. That's what Bone stood for. But the harmony side, as Eazy-E said, we got to add that harmony side to it because you guys sing in harmony. You guys sing in unison. You know what I mean? That's what made Bone so dope. They weren't just your average street rappers. Those guys, they harmonized together. That's why they were like the Temptations. That's why they were like, those old school. You could tell they were influenced by the oldies, by the 50s, by the 60s. Bone Thugs and Harmony, man. My favorite rap group. One of my favorite albums. So we're gonna keep talking about some albums that I've been influenced by, man. But I wanted to share that with you guys. You know what I mean? Pick it up, like I said, pick it up, go support it, man. If you can find it in stores, I'm sure Best Buy still carries it. Little local mom and pop stores still probably have copies. Or just hit eBay up, man, and snatch you up a copy and keep one in plastic. That's what I'm doing. And again, this is a timeless record that will never get old. They were in their heyday, man. DJ Unique produced it. Unbelievable production, original production like no other. And what can I say, man? Bone Thugs and Harmony forever. Bone Thugs eternal. You know what I mean? Shout out to all the members. I wish them nothing but the best, and they're still rocking. 20 years later, man, they're still rocking. It's longevity. You know what I mean? They're finding their way slowly into the Hall of Fame, into the Rap Hall of Fame. So, that's it. Journey Road with Preach. All right, but before we go, check it out. So I'm gonna give this album away, man. This is my personal album that I put together. So this here is a compilation. I pressed it up last year, and I pressed it up for the gathering of the Juggalos exclusively. So I only pressed up 75 copies of this. So this here is called Family First. It's for the family, and I want my family to hear this. And it's 16 tracks. I took 4 songs from all 4 of my projects. It was like 4 songs, or maybe I put 20 on there, I'm not sure. But either way, I pulled about 3 or 4 songs off of each one of my projects. And I put them on here as a compilation. And again, I only pressed up 75 copies. I want to say I've got about 25 copies left. So I want to give this away, all right? One lucky winner, man. You guys got to watch this video, and you guys got to subscribe. You guys got to subscribe to the channel, all right? We're trying to get the Whoop x2, man, and go global. It's on its way, you know, my brother, Mr. J, he's working hard. The people behind it are working hard. Shout out to Don. Shout out to everybody involved. Pleasure. And man, this is exciting, man. I want to share this with you guys. I want to take the influence and the inspiration that I received as a kid growing up and where I formulated my style from and put it into my own sound. And I want to give you guys this, man, and share a piece of my heart with you because these are songs from the beginning of my career. You know what I mean? And it's a compilation and it's exclusive and I'm going to give it to you. So I'm giving this away to a lucky winner. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit the channel, keep following me, P.R.E.A.C.H. Look me up on my social media, everything, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, P.R.E.A.C.H. all across the board. Follow me, I'll follow you back. Hit the channel up, man, hit the YouTube, hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to get my viewers up. And I'll see you soon, family. I'll see you guys in traffic. One lucky winner is coming your way. Oh, and I'm throwing in a wristband. Much love. Next time you see me, I'm giving away some more shit. So I love y'all. 2 whoops and 2 scoops of greatness. And remember my phrase, stay true to you is my favorite phrase. Apply it in your life, sit back and be amazed. Remember that shit. Stay true to you, man. That's what we say. Whoop whoop. Love y'all. Preach. Ciao.